Am I complete? Well, it's a very interesting question. It's a question I got from a patron of mine, and not asking me if I was complete, but what it actually means. Because this patron met somebody who said about himself that he's complete. I know for a fact that I'm not. Or am I? There are different perspectives of looking at this. And in this video, I would like to give you the possibility to answer this question for yourself by sharing my reasoning and different perspectives that I have on life, on completion, and so forth. Like, subscribe, and share. Hi, my name is Lotfi Murat, and in this video I will try to help you find the answer to the question, what is being complete? When am I complete? Will I ever be complete? See, there are more questions, but they're very connected. For some, completion is that moment, your status, that moment just before you die. Because then you finished. I didn't say you are finished, but you have finished your work for this lifetime. And this comes from the perspective of reincarnation, that we incarnate in this life. Oh boy, I see stuff coming up now. Woohoo! Okay, so the theory is we incarnate and we reincarnate several times, hundreds of times maybe. Maybe it's your first, maybe it's your last, maybe you did a lot and there's many more coming. Irrelevant. I'm talking from my own experience now. I've seen past lives for myself. I've seen things I've done then, things that happened to me. I've also experienced a life between lives. It was a regression session. And I've seen in that session what I already felt was my truth. I got the confirmation, which is that before incarnating, your soul has a meeting with his soul friends, let's say his soulmates, about, okay, I have this list of things I want to do, want to learn, want to experience, I want to evolve in. But let's say experience. Let's assume that the soul already, the soul doesn't need to learn anything, but wants to experience things. Just like when you go to Six Flags or Disneyland or any other theme park, and you just want to experience things. Most things we do in life are also about experiencing. Some people want to experience driving a very expensive car. Some people want to experience flying. When I say flying, it's more like parachute jumping, things like that. To really feel that sensation in the air. How is it to be up there now? Some people love to feel the sensation of floating, so they swim. I enjoy that, for example, very much. I have had dreams about flying several times. In the last half year, they are increasing. So that's about experiencing. So the soul has this whole list of things it wants to experience, but for that, you need to interact with people. So, for example, there is the need for people in your life to do things, to hurt you, to push you to the limits in certain cases, to help you have that experience. Like I want to experience to be robbed, to be raped, to be betrayed, to be loved, to be supported. And this is the thing that happened to us. So in the first half of the list was being victimized. And I'm starting with this because this is really what most people are going through. Most people are experiencing their lives as being a victim of society, a victim of their family, a victim of the people they meet, a victim of life. Because all these horrible things happen to them. For the soul, it's just an experience. Just like when you watch a movie, do you feel bad when Arnold Schwarzenegger is shooting down certain people? Or somebody is cheating on somebody else? You only feel bad if it reminds you of your own experience, or it triggers your fear that your partner may cheat on you. And if you could see life like this, it's just an accumulation of experiences, a journey to experience things, to see how it is, to play the game, then you will start to take things less seriously, and your completion becomes more of being able to accept what you're experiencing and just dealing with what's on your plate, with what's right in front of you, not worrying so much about what may come or not, what may happen or not. And if you reach that for, let's say, 50%, then I would say you're quite complete already from an earthly perspective. If you reach more, then you can call yourself complete. Although you were always complete, you just started with the belief that you're not, so that you could experience things exactly how they're coming to you. I heard somebody ask if God would incarnate just for fun, just for kicks, like, okay, I'm going to this planet called Earth that I created, and I would like to have a human experience, just to walk amongst the humans. Would God be the powerful person, or would God be the total opposite, the simplest man or woman who is disadvantaged by society, just to experience how it is to relive the experience? Just like when I go on holiday to Greece, I go, or not just to Greece, when anywhere where I go, and I want to taste real local food, I go to a restaurant where the locals are eating, because then I know I will have the real experience of the local food. And so, from this logic, from this perspective, God would also want to really experience things, and not being the person who lives in this high castle with 1,000 servants and being the king of England or whatever. No, ordinary person who has to go to work, experience what it is to have a shitty boss, experience what it is to stand in line, to be in traffic, to to deal with things, to fully experience life, to taste everything. And completion is just having done what's on your list through. And you don't even need to finish the whole list. Just a few things you put on your list. It's like when you go on holiday. Some people that go on holiday, they plan everything meticulously. Every day, every hour of every day, we need to go there and then there and then there and then there and visit all those different places. And if we do everything exactly like this, we'll manage to see as much as we can. Gosh, I'm already exhausted just thinking of that. Well, when I go on holiday, I can just go and I'll see. My best holiday, I just went. I only knew about this restaurant and that Costas was the name of the owner, and I could tell him like, hey, I'm a friend of that couple who were there a few weeks ago. That's it. And so I did. I went there. And in the bus from the airport, I already got in contact with somebody who happened to be my neighbor in this hotel where I was staying. I mean, hotel, you cannot really call it hotel. It was more like a pension. I mean, you just had your room with your little kitchen. Let's call it more like an Airbnb, tiny apartments. And if you wanted to talk, there was no reception. The owner, I mean, there was like a reception desk, but it was empty. You had to go to the shop around the corner, and there was the person managing it, was the owner. And so I went to that restaurant. I talked with the guy, and yeah, we became friends, and we laughed a lot. But I just went with the flow and had an amazing holiday. I saw quite a bit of the island. I really got to know the Greek food. I really got to know the Greek people. It was an amazing experience. And I also went another time, like a year or two later, with a girlfriend, and she looked up some things, but in the end, we just did a few things. We didn't do everything that was on the list because we didn't feel to. And we had an amazing holiday because, again, we did a lot of things very spontaneously. So for some people, the holiday is only a success if they went through the whole fucking list, did all those things, and then come home and need to actually rest and recover from a very stressful, intense holiday. Or, like me, come home with beautiful memories. I'm still looking back and I'm like, yeah, well, those holidays there, they were amazing. They were great. And they were a success. So when is life complete? Well, I hope that this video has put you to think, to look what is important for you in your life. When do you consider something to be complete? Some people, they have the idea that life is complete when they have reached a certain point in their career. But what if you reach it early? What then? Should you kill yourself because you already reached that level? Or should you readjust because, oh, there's time left, so now we need to upgrade to go to another level, we need to invent something bigger? Or are you a failure? Are you incomplete if you didn't reach that level, but other things came on your path and actually you learned much more about other things with a completely different direction? Like I went a completely different direction from what my mother thought was ideal life. She thought you do primary school, secondary school, university, and then you have a good job, you get married, you have kids, and maybe some pets, and your own house. the garden. For me, that sounded very boring. I chose not to go to university. I chose to work, to learn in life through doing. That's my way of learning things, through practice. Maybe that's something I had to do to be able to work on myself when it comes to personal development, because personal development is not reading books and succeeding at exams, which in many countries is just multiple choice questions. It's just learning by heart something, and then they say you're good at something, but then in practice, it's total mess, because there is a difference between learning things by heart, like they taught me at school back in the 70s and 80s, and being in a completely new situation with certain parameters that you've never experienced before, and then good luck. And also some parameters that you cannot see yet. Just like when I suddenly was bombarded to a marketing manager in a company, and I had 3 weeks to represent the company on a fair with a stand, with a team, with flyers, brochures, banners, the whole shebang. And the only thing we had was one flyer and a few business cards. No website, no nothing. People were just doing the work. But we had nothing marketing-wise. And in 3 weeks, me with my very limited marketing experience managed, through coordinating and hiring experts, to get us on that fair, impress the hell out of people who spent months preparing and having a super successful fair experience, landing amazing clients, gaining new business partners, and making an amazing impression. Oh, and having a lot of fun as well. And people couldn't believe that we did that in 3 weeks. If I would have had a different background and just studied marketing at school and then suddenly like, okay, go do it, I would have totally freaked out, because I would have followed all the things that you learn at school to do it like this. And I had a colleague who was like that, and who kept picking fights with me because we were supposed to follow a certain order and do certain things, and I was like, okay, we don't have money for that, we don't have time for that, so we need this by then, and that's how what we need to get, so let's find another way, let's be creative. And I learned that through the path of my life, which may not be the path of your life. And this is what I love. This is how I learned the best. And I really learned a lot in that period from the different people I worked with and that I coordinated, connected with each other. And on the day itself, on the first day of the fair, the website went live, we had everything flown in, and it looked perfect. One tiny mistake. There was one typo on one business card, and there was a business card of a potential investor who needed also to have a business card to be on the stand. Well, fuck it. And that's literally what I said the first evening at dinner when that came up. I said, if this is the only thing, the only mistake that I made, that we have made as a team, then fuck it. And the investor was sitting in front of me and he started laughing. I was like, yeah, well, you've had only 3 weeks and this is really an amazing achievement. And that was in 2009. So I was not even 40 and I already had helped setting up a brand new company setting up the marketing for 2 companies, doing the marketing actually for 3 companies, and all that in 2.5 years time. So career-wise, you could say, wow, successful. I was not even 40 yet. So should I have stopped? Should I have killed myself after that? No. I chose new challenges, new experiences, new things in life. And so am I complete? Well, I could consider myself to be well on the way because I do not stress so much anymore about what may happen, about the future, about the unknown. Yes, I have my days where I get depressed by what I see around me in the world, but that generally blows over quickly, a day or two, and then it's gone. So what does complete mean for you? Now that you've got these different perspectives, looking forward to see you telling me personally or in the chat, in the comments, what do you consider to be complete? Are you complete? Are you close to be complete? Are you far from being complete? Or do you again don't even give a shit about being complete or not? Looking forward to hearing from you. And if you have questions, you like this kind of videos, then please put it in the comments. Wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share.